Hello and welcome to this watercolour demonstration. My name's Bill Lupton and I'm sponsored by the SAA, formerly known as the Society for All Artists. Well, I normally paint dramatic landscapes, that's my passion, but during the process I often include a couple of people in there somewhere. They're usually quite small and not a lot of detail, but this is great practice. If I can paint famous people so that they're recognisable but with very little detail, then at least I know I'm getting the structure just about right. Well, let's get on and see who we recognise along the way. Well, I've started, just to give you a little bit of a clue, this is a very famous pop star. Lots of hit records, but also very famous for earlier hits with his family. Well, as you can see by the water on the paper, I do use quite a wet brush for this. I really enjoy working from photographs of famous people. It is interesting to see how they turn out in the end. I'm still not quite sure I've got this one correct yet, but I think the stance is beginning to come together. I think the hand on the crotch area makes it clear who it might be. I think the record I liked best was Billie Jean. Sometimes it's amazing, you only need to paint the shape of the hair and the person's recognisable. This is an absolute megastar from the 50s and 60s, and I'm sure you know who this is already. But just in case, it is a well-known singer. He also played the starring role in quite a few movies. I sometimes do this. I'll paint the shape in quite a pale colour and then start to add the darks and the shadows. This gives me an opportunity, if I get things wrong, to move it around a little bit and even wipe it out if I have to before the darks go in. This was quite a strange start, but again I'm using a lighter colour. But I think as soon as the head goes in, you'll see again this is the same person as I painted previously in a more famous stance. I do find this sort of practice invaluable. It allows me to create shapes rather than thinking of the person. I'm trying to create a shape, and once that shape's created I move on to the next shape, and it gradually builds up, as you can see. It does look quite strange without the other leg at the moment, doesn't it? And there's the very recognisable black hairstyle. And it's sometimes nice to paint groups of people together, so let's see if you recognise this group. I think the black jacket and the black tie give this group away instantly. Even though the shapes may not be recognisable totally, it will be clear who they are, I'm sure. It's amazing when you draw people quite small and don't put any detail in. The shape of the hair creates the head. You can almost see the face even though there's nothing there. I just about remember this group. I certainly remember their later hits in the 70s. And I remember seeing some news articles about their long hair being a little bit disturbing for some parents. Well, instantly recognisable or not, that's not what this video is really about. It's about just practicing painting people so that you can drop them into a landscape and they're fairly convincing. I think this front one was John, because he had quite a long coat on compared to the others. Well, there we go, a fab group, certainly one of the more famous groups in the 60s and 70s. Going back even further now into the silent movies era, this is an iconic figure. Well, that person is instantly recognisable to me, but this is all about practicing painting shapes and bodies. So let's paint the suit and the legs and the little walking stick that he carried. It's a totally different shape to people painted previously. They're quite baggy trousers at the top, but he did wear quite long, thin shoes, so again, it's about shapes. I remember as a child rolling around with laughter at his films with my father. This person was also famous for wearing a hat, but a totally different character altogether. Quite a serious person, this one. And in this little demonstration, I've restricted myself to the head and shoulders. And I must say, I do find this useful practice to me because I'm not good at painting faces, so this is an opportunity to practice and see if I recognise the person, even slightly. Some of you may recognise this person already, but I can give you another clue. He used to like a cigar. I need to be a bit careful now because it's beginning to look like one half of a couple of silent movie stars, but it's not that person. I'm not actually sure it looks too much like the person I'm trying to portray, but it's still very good practice and worth having a go. Hope you recognise it is. Again, I'm painting quite close-up face shots, but this is a couple of people who was quite funny, quite a famous film they made together. You're doing very well if you recognise them at this stage, but it is possible the shape of the hats do give the film away. instead of painting eyes, I'm painting dark glasses on these at the moment. That's a lot easier. Those of you who do know the film should recognise this by now, but it's purely about shapes. I've not done a great deal in there, but I'm going to carry on and finish the sketch. It is about practice, and that's what I'm doing. There we go, the brothers. Hopefully you recognise them, but again, it's all about practice. Well, let's do something different now. This is again a painting of a face, and it is a very famous person, but famous for a different reason. It's a very clever person. Let's see how long it is before you recognise the individual. Big moustache is a very big clue, isn't it? And now for this large head of rather messy hair. To be honest, it's a bonus if you recognise the individuals I've been painting along the way. What's important for me is I do practice them, because I do incorporate people in a small way in some of my landscapes. Well, thank you for watching. Please visit my website www.thepaintings.co.uk, where you'll find out more about me and my work, and you'll also see kits and classes that I run. As well as that, I've got videos on YouTube, so why not take a look, and hopefully we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.